it's funny. I think we were talking last year at CES when we just were rolling out one platform, and we were talking about that. And the intention was with one platform to stop looking at linear bifurcated from digital. So if you think about where we were at that point, was you had linear networks and digital, and then streaming was going to be there somewhere in the future. And now we sit here, whatever, 16 months later, and Peacock has become a reality and a huge part of our discussions as we think about this year's UpFront. And the way that we look at Peacock is really almost like a third broadcast network. You have NBC, you have Telemundo, and then you have Peacock. Because when we look at Peacock, by fourth quarter of this year, Peacock is going to have the same monthly reach as NBC network in prime time. So it's a little bit different in that obviously it has a completely different ad load, completely different ad experience in terms of low frequency, and it also has different commercial innovation on that side of it. But if you think about it, it's a modern day broadcast network. It has news, it has sports, it has entertainment, as an original programming, all curated down for you. So it's like going back and buying NBC back in the 1930s. This is the ground floor in the first year where the general market will be able to come into Peacock and buy it as part of this year's UpFront.
So what are some opportunities to buy cross-platform for marketers? What's the opportunity, or are they buy one or the other, or how are you guys going to market?
We are going to market with Peacock as part of our overall offering, as part of one platform. So what we've really tried to do over the past, year and a half in discussing with our marketers is we don't want marketers to have to make that decision between either linear or digital or streaming. And the whole intention of one platform was you still can get the quick reach of television plus the targeting of digital, and you don't have to make a choice between them. One platform brings it all together on those, but it'll be part of our offering for every advertiser out there right now.
Now, Mark, you guys have been involved with a great deal of innovation around audience targeting, united measurements of audiences, of performance. What's new that, from a solution standpoint, that you'll be bringing to the UpFront?
The whole idea with one platform when we were rolling it out, probably the part that was missed and probably maybe we didn't do as good of a job of articulating, was part of one platform was this 3-year roadmap of investing in technology. And that roadmap, we're a year and a half into that roadmap. Our initial goals were trying to make every impression data informed. We also wanted to be able to bring together linear and digital together, as we just talked about on the other piece of it. And now as we're moving into this next year, it really falls into these 3 buckets. It's data, interoperability with our clients' data, what we're trying to figure out. We're also adding to our addressable footprint and expanded that dramatically. And the other part of it, which is kind of a element that's not necessarily a media transactional element, but this idea of how do we figure out, how do we automate the workflow in a different way? And our goal on that is to work with our partners really at the agency side to be able to get rid of about 30% of the manual work that we do, just because it's the way it's always been done. Technology is allowing us to change that. So how do we find APIs and different ways to interact to take out some of the manual elements to allow us to move faster and hopefully improve margins for our clients on that side.
Great. And Mark, of course, the UpFront has been a big programming slate, big stage at Radio City Music Hall. It's not quite like that at all this year, but what about the programming slate? What's happening, and how has the pandemic affected it, and what should buyers know?
Well, what a difference a year makes. At this point last year, we didn't know what shows might be on next week, as opposed to what the year ahead looks like. In addition, during this time period, we also reorganized our entire programming slate out, and all of the people that are out there are all in significantly different roles right now. So you have Susan Rovner and Francis Berwick, who oversee all of the programming for broadcast, cable, as well as streaming. So when they're out talking to the creators, they're looking at their entire portfolio of where the show is going to make the most sense, as opposed to looking at just broadcast. And we have a hole at 8 p.m. that we're trying to fill on Tuesdays. They're looking at the best programming they can for everything, and then figuring out the right hole that it'll fit into overall on that side of it. So they've really put together probably the most aggressive content slate I've ever seen in my 7 years here across all of the different elements, broadcast, cable, and streaming. And we're able to look at all of those elements in entertainment and think, what a great time for these shows to find a home on NBCU, because what they're all going to get is the promotional power of this kind of once in a lifetime sports slate that we have, starting with just over 2 months away. You know, you have the Tokyo Olympics, followed by the Paralympics, into Sunday Night Football, into Super Bowl, as well as the Winter Olympics, followed by World Cup. So you think about this going into the upfront, which is a futures market, and advertisers are trying to figure out where they want to invest their dollars. And a lot of that's based around the entertainment side, but we're seeing more and more advertisers starting to use sports as a way to get that large reach. And so you're seeing non-traditional sports advertisers ending up there just because you can get that really quick reach. And we're seeing that in Sunday Night Football, and we're seeing it in the Olympics, and then obviously the ultimate being Super Bowl for the one-day event.